We all have thoughts. I know we all have thoughts. We've been talking about VAR a lot in this show, so we decided let's just start off with it because there's no way that we're gonna move away, especially with how pivotal it was, especially with how that game was officiated in its entirety, which is an own problem that we will also be getting into. Well, first of all, Aaron, how you doing? I'm not going to ask Woodsy. I know.
I'm doing fine. I had a great weekend.
Yeah, you did have a great weekend. I had a great weekend, too. Tuesday was not as good. But, hey, I'd rather lose on a Tuesday away than win on a Thursday any day.
Hey,
so
I would like to just be there.
All right, Woodsy.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you run. Where do you want to start with this?
Let's just start with the Diaz call. We'll get that out of the way. Dude, I'm pretty sure Stevie Wonder knew that was onside from the moment that they went to VAR. That's easily the worst call I've ever seen.
Is that right there not the problem, though? It was so obviously onside to anyone but the linesman.
Yes, but in this case, there's I could see what you're saying about the linesman. Definitely, I mean, obviously he's supposed to keep his flag down, and he did. He let the play go throughout. But the fact that he actually put the flag up in general was kind of, I mean, it wasn't even close. I mean, he's a good yard onside. The issue I have is that the audio you just heard was a shambles from the second it started. It was a shambles. You could obviously hear that they said the goal was offside, checking for offside. The VAR, Darren England, I mean, listen, man, he should have been canned. We're talking like serious business. This guy should have been canned immediately. The fact that he just got suspended for all the Liverpool games is even worse in my opinion.
I'm not gonna say conspiracy theory, but yep, when you do that, it very much looks like it's one guy's fault. I think what we just saw.
Like it's one guy is corrupt. That's the thing. Like it makes it look like one guy is corrupt when, I mean, we just got done not even 6 months ago with a guy elbowing a player in the face, a referee elbowing a player in the face. The decisions, and I'm just talking on my team right now. I'm not even. There's decisions throughout the league that have been awful, and Liverpool's the first one to actually have some balls to fucking do something. Sorry about my language, but it's the first club to actually say no, this isn't right. And I kind of was hoping people would put the tribalism aside. What I'm seeing online, what I'm seeing, just talking to people about it. This is not This is not Liverpool versus all the other clubs. This is not Liverpool versus Spurs. It's not Liverpool versus any other club in the Premier League. This is Liverpool against the standard of officiating in the Premier League and the status quo, which is basically if you take it up the butt from a referee, that's just kind of how it's got to be. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. These guys that have never played the game should not be influencing the game. And Darren England is lucky he still has a job. I saw the only guy that I would give credit to there was the video operator, the only one that recognized it. So that tells me one thing: he's the only one watching the game. He's the only one watching the game. Not only was he watching the game,
it was a bit damning that the VAR and the assistant VAR didn't think that there was an issue, but the video replay operator, you guys like, no, wait a minute, you guys have this wrong. It's backwards.
But the fact that he's the one thing was already started, and the only guy that knew was the video operator, not the VAR, not the AVR.
So I want to talk about this. I'm a big believer in never attribute to malice what can be equally attributed to negligence. And this to me is gross negligence, but it's negligence. I'm going to talk about this from an operation standpoint. And when people talk about getting to the root of a problem, this is why people need to be so careful with their words. Because what happened? Why did this happen? It happened because we needed to be quick. Why do we need to be quick? Because people's most damning thing about VAR is it takes too much time.
God forbid we take an extra 20 seconds, right?
It doesn't matter how much time it takes. It needs to be right. Now, if it starts taking 2 or 3 minutes every call to get the right call, that's fine. But if it takes 15 seconds or 30 seconds, it's okay. It's okay that it takes time. because we're all going to know what the right call is at the end. I mean, this is how it started. No one wanted VAR. No one wanted that. We all just want to have the refs be the refs, right? It's the same thing that happened in baseball when baseball started doing instant replays. Nobody wanted that. But now that we have 50 different slow-mo cameras everywhere around the stadium, we're going to know what the right call was, and we can't keep playing when the wrong calls get made. So now we're listening to all the people who don't like VAR who say, well, what do you like about it? Well, what can they say they don't like? Well, it takes too long. Like, that's the only argument you can have, because if you don't like VAR, you don't like the game being played fairly. That's the idea of VAR. Now, we can pick apart all the different things that VAR does incorrectly, which I'm doing right now. But to be against VAR as an institution is, okay, everyone has to watch on a potato camera and there's no replays. That's the other option. We do that, or we have the world that we live now with the technology that we have, and now you're stuck living in this place. That's where we're at. So we need to stop listening to how long it takes. And then people, oh, well, now we have extra stoppage time at the end. Yeah, because we're still playing 90 minutes. I don't understand what the argument is. So that entire thing was started because we listened to the people who said it takes too long. Oh, yeah, no, check complete. That's done. It should be, okay, he's onside for the goal. That's what should have been said instead of check complete. Because now we're doing it backwards, and we've all talked about this before. When it goes to VAR, the referee on the field opinion does not matter anymore. It should go to VAR. He should look at it. He should make a decision based only on his thoughts, and he should tell the referee what the call is. Because the thing that takes the longest is telling the ref to go down and look at the damn screen. Hey, we just looked at this for like a minute, but can you also come look at it for a minute and then decide if you want to say that you're wrong in front of 60,000 people? How is that a good idea? That makes no sense.
And you can even say, even when they do that, they are, in a way, doing an injustice to what actually occurred. Because I'm going to bring up something, and I'll bring it up later when we get into the red card situations. Because we'll stick on this one. But I have a grievance with the way that VAR handled multiple cases in this game.
Oh yeah, no, the way the VAR handled the red card was also completely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was I mean, we can jump into it. They broke their own rules.
Yeah, they did. They did. I got the rule right here, actually. I'll fill you in on that in a little bit.
No, go ahead. I mean, I don't know what else is to be said. This entire issue with the Diaz goal that wasn't a goal was they tried to do it too quickly, and I don't know why. Your job, the whole point of being in the room is to not be at the stadium and not feel the energy and not feel the fervor, to be in a room in your own little box and to make the right call.
Yeah.
And if it takes 2 minutes, it takes 2 minutes. And it didn't need to take 2 minutes. It needed to take 5 more seconds. Okay, I had that he was onside for the goal. That's all that needed to be said. But instead, no, check complete, move on.
But do you know what you're saying? You know what you're saying right now?
What?
And then what they said. Their words were so wrong. They used wrong verbiage. It was misunderstood, and
yeah,
that's VAR did its job. I want to actually say that VAR did exactly what it was supposed to do. It showed that Diaz was onside, and he was onside significantly, and the goal should have stand. This wasn't a technological fault. This wasn't a technological fault. This was just right down to human error and using the wrong words. Which is an
operational fault.
Yes. So the VAR assistant and the VAR manager at that time used the wrong language to convey what they meant to say was he's onside, the goal should stand. That's all that needed to be said.
They use the wrong language because that's the language they're told to use.
Well, it's dumb.
It is dumb, and that was my point. It's dumb that you're going too quickly, but they're using that language because they want to be quick.
What's quick
they're
about
using that language? It takes less time. Check complete. Check complete is the quickest way. It's practically saying yes or no.
So here's the thing too, like if check complete is the right answer, then the goal stands. Do you know what I mean? Like, because he scored the goal.
If you're checking for the right thing.
Okay, so then they're checking for offside.
Which is where I come back to. I think part of the problem is the only person who thought that he could even be offside was the linesman. Because the VAR guy clearly thought that he was calling him on. But again, you got to be watching. You got to be watching the game, and he wasn't watching the game, and that's to Woodsy's point.
And even back when you go to like the restart of the game, they didn't even notice. You can tell right then and there they're not watching the game. They have no interest. They could be eating a cup of tea, eating a pie, whatever it is. They were not actually paying.
I don't know what Woodsy think goes on in Britain, but they do not eat cups of tea.
No, they were eating a pie or whatever. I don't know.
Oh heck!
See, even that's something I did wrong.
Yeah.
No, and then now to the red card, because as much as I know, like the red card isn't as significant as the Diaz error, of course, and obviously we'll get into the ramifications later. But the red card on the straight red on Curtis Jones, they broke their own laws of the game. They broke their own laws of the game. They broke them right there.
See, I didn't know about this until you said something.
It was basically the way that they go to the monitor. So when they go to the monitor, they're supposed to basically either have a real-time or a semi-slowed down version, not a stop motion, not a picture, nothing like that. The actual rule states that VAR can check the footage in normal speed and or in slow motion, but in general, slow motion replay should only be used for facts. Example given, position of offensive player, that's offside, point of contact for physical offenses, so like handball and stuff like that, and ball out of play, so including goals, no goals, stuff like that. Normal speed should be used for the intensity of an offense or to decide if it was a handball offense or not. So here's the thing that they did. When they went to go look at Curtis Jones's challenge, the referee walked up to a still image of the boot bending the ankle of Yes Bissouma, and right then and there, I mean, the decision's made. The decision is made. I would love to get the VAR audio of that, because that might be almost as egregious as what we heard with the Luis Diaz stuff. So that right then and there is the epitome of what VAR is in the country of England. That's exactly what it is. It is used incorrectly by absolute imbeciles in the worst way manageable to get the result that they think they should be getting. The cards throughout this game were absolutely atrocious. I'm just going to start. I'm not going to go to the Jota one first. I actually want to do the Andy Robertson one, because that one pissed me the hell off.
That one was silly.
Absolutely disgusting card. One player goes for the ball, and it's towards the end of the game. I want to say it's closer to like the 80th minute.
The 80th-ish minute. Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. And Robbo goes up for a challenge. Excuse me. After already making a challenge, goes up for a header and supposedly caught Pedro Porro with an elbow. But if you look at it, in real speed and in slow-mo, which you can do for this offense, you can obviously see that only one player is looking for the ball, and that's Andy Robertson. The other player is looking for the challenge and is looking for the offense to get the card. That's what they do. So there's that one, and that one was atrocious as well. The Jota one.
The first one.
Honestly, the first one was absolutely horrendous. Does not even touch him.
It was a yellow card for those who didn't watch the game.
Yeah,
he got 2 yellows and got sent off.
Absolutely unbelievable decision. I mean, I don't understand what the referee saw there, and he was very close to that play. The second one, here's where I have a problem with the second one. This player, actually, no, I'm sorry. Let's go back to that first one, because the player that was actually fouled was on a yellow. That player then calls for a yellow card, makes the gesture, which, by the way, if you're watching Champions League today, already 3 guys have been booked for that gesture.
Multiple people.
My actual referees are doing their job.
Yep.
You know, like, I don't understand. The first week of the season, how many players got called for that?
Enough.
Like, there were 2 of them in the Liverpool-Chelsea match alone. You know, like, and I don't get why it stopped after the first week. So that, I mean, obviously, that's, by the way, would be a second. So he's off. And it's 10-10. It's 10-10. It's 10v10. Yep. So, and then we go to the second challenge. Again, Jota, I don't think it's a smart challenge to go in there. Obviously, I don't think it was very smart to even put your body on the line, knowing you got a card and this guy's calling everything that breathes basically.
Agreed.
So, although I did look at one of the challenges and if you look at it from a different alternate angle, if he touches him, I'm actually surprised.
No, I saw it. I don't mean to disagree with you. However, I am. That one actually seemed more of a yellow card than the first one, and I'm okay with that one getting a yellow card. The first one, it literally Undagi's foot just rubbed Jota's thigh, and he lost his footing and he fell. So I don't know if Simon Hooper just thought like Jota came across Undagi's thigh and clipped him.
Yeah, he thought it wasn't. I mean, I think the referee thought it was intentional because they were breaking.
That too, it was a break. But either way, he slipped over his own foot.
Yeah, and that's that second one. I've watched from a couple different angles already. The foot of Jota, if anything, might catch him. I got to look again. I don't think it did. I honestly don't think it did. But again, that was a stupid challenge to even go in for Jota. It was
right.
dumb to even consider
that's really
that.
on him.
Yeah, it is on him. It is on him, especially with the referee. My goodness, man.
Do stupid things, win stupid prizes, essentially, is what happened there.
Yeah, exactly. And I the whole game was officiated to a degree that I just didn't understand. And it is easily the worst referee game I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, it was pretty bad to watch.
And I've seen some pretty bad ones. And I'm just speaking on, obviously, the games I pay attention to more, obviously, Liverpool games. But the only one that can seem close to this one, there was a Champions League match. Oddly enough, the guy that refereed the game just was the referee of the World Cup final this past year.
Yeah.
The Polish referee, who I've said for years, I mean, the guy's not a good referee.
There's that Spanish ref too. That was in the Argentinian and Netherlands match. That guy who handed out
he was bad.
14 yellow cards or something like that.
Yeah, but this
I
guy,
can picture his face, but
the guy that did the Champions League final, so he did the Liverpool Atletico Madrid game, and I had read up a little bit about him and about where he was from because I just wanted to know exactly what this guy was because I'd heard a lot of bad things about him, and the racial stuff that he's done, and the fact that he was given this game. And you know what it's like in Spain. You know what's going on in Spain with all the. I mean, just look at Valencia. Look at what happened to Vinny Jr. That's shocking that he would actually get that, and the fact that he got the World Cup final this past year was disgusting. But there are some officials out there that I do think are corrupt, and that you look at the what the PGMOL did with Darren England. He is not allowed to referee a Liverpool game the rest of the season. He's been taken off Liverpool duties. Now,
well, so two things with that. One, it looks bad, but I guarantee you that they're going to say that they did that for his own safety.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's on VAR, he's not there. If he's on VAR, he's not there.
Yeah, but then
VAR is in Stockley Park. That's the other end of the country.
See, and you know that, and you're not even in the country. I'm just saying, people act bad. Just so I had to take a call. I'm sure you guys have already discussed the Curtis Jones red card.
Correct.
Yeah.
So just my only piece to add is that was actually silver lining. That was a bit of a beautiful moment because it is such a litmus test to know if the guy that you're talking to has ever played before. Because if he thought that was a red, he has never played before. If he doesn't understand how that situation can so easily happen, I'm going to be honest. If Curtis Jones hasn't been playing rough, or if it's early enough in the match, I don't even think I yellow that. That is just such a coming together that happened to be ugly. It happened to be studs up, but it was never meant to be studs up. And I do think it's one of those like Stern talking to, if you do anything remotely bad again, I'm giving you a yellow, even if you don't think that challenge is deserving, because a lot of times yellows are cumulative of all the fouls that you've had. And I also don't think that that's necessarily a problem, but I don't think in no way, shape, or form did Curtis Jones try to put his studs into him, nor do I think it was reckless. I think it was very unfortunate.
And
I'm okay with a yellow. I would never argue against one, but it's certainly not a red.
Yeah,
it's. I think it's definitely a yellow, just for the challenge as it is. I mean, I was mentioning the cards today, and and the referees holding the players accountable for making the gesture. I mean, you look at what this case today in the Barcelona game in the Champions League. There was a dangerous, was it Barcelona? I think it was Barcelona. There was a dangerous challenge where a player got kicked in the head, and the referee, by the way, an English referee, Anthony Taylor, by the way, gave a yellow, even though it was dangerous play, clearly dangerous play. So, and I mentioned earlier, the rule for the Curtis Jones incident that the VAR referee, again, I'm going with a little conspiracy tinfoil hat theory here.
I'm gonna buy you one.
Yeah, I can make one, man. You don't need to buy me one. Yeah, the thing is,
go get one out of your collection.
Yeah, there's plenty.
It says Liverpool
the fact
across
that they know this rule. They know this rule, and they continue to break their own rule regarding still images in VAR. Still images are not allowed for plays like that. They're just not allowed.
Speaking of own rules, did anyone else notice? And it didn't matter at all. Did anyone else notice that they got the wrong point of contact for Salah? When they were lining it up, it's supposed to be when you first make contact with the ball, not when the ball leaves your foot. They got the wrong point of contact. It didn't matter, and it's like almost not even worth bringing up. But it's like even they don't even do that part right.
Yeah.
And you wonder on these hairline things if they're going off last point of contact instead of first. How many should be on calls, on sides have been taken away? Was that Garnacho goal actually a goal? I don't know, man. That thing was tight. If they went from the right point, and I don't remember, but if there was a point of contact that was earlier than what they went with, he's probably onside. And it's when it's razor thin like that, you're not even doing your own job. And again, I'm telling you, I'm looking at it. It just feels like they're rushing.
So
they're rushing and they're rushing.
How do you guys think they changed this? Because they've made some information available in their statement, the PGMOL and the Premier League, as far as making changes so it doesn't happen again. I get what they want to do. But the changes I think that need to be made regard the PGMOL. First and foremost, Howard Webb should not have a job. Simply put, should not have a job.
I enjoy how Woodsy answers his own question here. I'm a big fan.
I'm just saying. You guys should not have a job. Because think of it this way. He's part of that old guard. He's part of that old guard that, is used to the pre-VAR era that was extremely corrupt with decisions. I mean, I could go back years and get decisions from nearly every single year on calls that decided titles.
Honestly, Arsenal's 49 undefeated should be at least 50 because Ruud van Nistelrooy should not have been on the field. Like, he should not have even been allowed in the stadium after what went on in that game, but he was, and he scored, and, I totally get it. But it goes back that far, and I understand. For me, there are two things you need if you're going to be an officiating body. You need transparency, and you need accountability. And we're getting transparency, and we're not getting accountability.
Mm-hmm. See, I don't think we're getting either with this.
Well, we're beginning to get transparency. But the audio that we just had was more transparency than we've had. Now, I'm not saying it's enough, but we are starting to get it. The problem now, what I'm hoping for this is going to lead towards more accountability because it's stopped being a closed door, hush, hush, screw you. Mm-hmm. And again, Aaron and I have watched a lot of baseball. Scorecards don't even get shown. Like the internal scorecards don't even get shown. There are two jobs that you can't get fired from. It's a Supreme Court and an MLB umpire. You just can't. You're in there till you die or you retire. It's that simple. So I know all about corruption and people not fixing it, but it's the same thing. How did baseball do it? You don't make the call anymore. The guys in Brooklyn make the call, or Queens, or wherever the thing is. I think that's the best way. It should, when a VAR call happens, it should be completely taken out of the referee's hand. That was a red. Not, we think it's a red. Go look at it. Oh, by the way, here's a still image. That should be a red. And I agree with the rule. I love the spirit of the rule. You should never see a still image. Still images can look absolutely horrible. But then when you watch it back in real time and you realize how we got there, it's okay, that was just really unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
I'd even add there too, along the lines of Howard Webb not having a job, is that international referees need to be in the Premier League. You cannot have this English guard of honor that's basically the be-all, end-all of all these decisions going on in England. I don't understand why we're allowing these referees. By the way, the VAR and the AVR were in the UAE, by the way, who own Man City, 2 days prior to this match. 2 days prior. So they're on the books of Man City's owners. They're on the books.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
That's disgusting. And you don't think that's going to help them? Because guess who lost earlier that day? Manchester City. What's going to benefit them? You know, there's no way. I cannot think that that's actually a possibility. With the way that this VAR video came out, and then the things that they said, and the calls that were made this game, there's no way that you can't think that's a possibility. It certainly is.
I don't know about the offside. I think the offside's very clear, just negligence. The red cards, though, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I'm not the first person to go conspiracy theorist, but the red cards I do think were a bit like, what the hell is going on? Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about the actual soccer that was played, though. I liked what I saw out of Liverpool a lot after they lost Curtis Jones. Because Curtis Jones is
next week. Watch us with 7 men.
It's not even just 7 men. Losing Curtis Jones is huge for you guys. Yeah. He is such a facilitator. I know Sazbala, or however you say his name, is getting all the plaudits, and yeah, he makes those highlight plays, and it's great. But Curtis Jones is such a good guy. As soon as I saw him, I was like, oh man, I really don't want to watch Spurs win. And Liverpool, like, it shouldn't have. Honestly, I mean, imagine winning 2-1 against Liverpool. And the videos are, should you have won more easily? And the answer is kind of yes, with the way it was set up.
Yeah, it was.
I do not like Richarlison starting to play better, though.
I honestly, I mean, the way Liverpool defended, I had a lot of questions this year about their defense. I was not happy that they did not bring in a defender during the summer. I'm still going to say that I'm not happy because I do think.
I still have questions about Liverpool's defense.
But they defended extremely, extremely well, both with 11, 10, and 9 men. And I feel for Joel Matip because the guy played a hell of a game. Mm-hmm. Hell of a game. Could have easily been the best defender we had on the pitch that day.
Another litmus test. If you think that was his fault, then you have never played.
Yeah.
That was so unlucky. Absolute banger.
No kidding.
So unlucky. Top shelf, top ends, baby. It's a Bardowski.
We should have played him at striker. We would have won.
Hey, stand there. We're going to ping balls off of you. You're tall enough. We're going to ping them off your head. We're going to ping them off your feet.
I don't know if you guys remember. He did score a goal against Leeds United 2 years ago where he basically dribbled from the halfway line, passed it off to Mo, and Mo Salah dips it into him, and he chips the keeper. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. It's clearly one of the best goals. We won 6-0 that game. But one of the better goals I've ever seen from a defender by far was that one. Absolute class. But Aaron, I'll give you some love here. You actually, I believe it was, I think it was you that mentioned the other day that Liverpool probably played better than Spurs.
I didn't say it, but that's how I felt. I thought Spurs were just playing to a bar. They weren't really going above it. They weren't really below it. They were just playing to how Liverpool was playing. And Liverpool were playing an exceptional game. And I thought they were the more attacking, threatening front than Spurs were. I even thought that when they had 10 men, that they played well. They were able to get counterattacks on the breaks through Salah, and they were still able to defend pretty well. I mean, Richarlison's ball across the 6, there's really nothing you could do about that. That was a phenomenal cross to him, then back across the 6. So, I mean, you're not catching Son on a break like that either. So, they played better. And it's disappointing to see them not come away with a draw and have that unfortunate own goal at the end. And I really, like, when that went in, I knew what the score was. I knew when it was going to happen. I hadn't watched it, but boy, did I feel terrible when I saw that goal go in. Not because the Spurs won, but because Liverpool, at the very least, at this point, should have gotten a draw out of that match. It's tough.
I would even add that I also forgot another yellow card that was given.
No, they just gave it. That's why.
The Mo Salah one on the breakaway.
Where he beat
loses possession, gains it back, and turns Basuma into a pretzel. Again, I don't know that one was definitely on Simon Hooper for sure. I don't see what the hell's going on there with that one.
That was a weird one too. A lot of these cards were very weird cards, and
it was in one direction. It was one direction. It was not the same way. I mean, let me go back. I'm gonna go find out how many cards. I think there was 8 yellows and 2 reds. I believe that's what it was. Maybe it was more.
It was one of those where I know a lot of people are gonna say that Tottenham was more disciplined.
I don't.
But no, not really. That's not really what I saw. It seemed very open.
That's how they play though lately. Spurs have kind of moved into the.
I mean, Ange has absolutely gotten so much better. I wasn't on the pod last week, but it wasn't because I was upset about a 2-2 draw. They absolutely they played so well. They played so well. They're pressing higher. They're forcing you into mistakes.
Yes, which
is how Ange seems to like to play. And while I don't think it was fair, I think that it's very easy for a lot of Liverpool people to say, "Look, a lot of Spurs fans to say for Liverpool, we forced them into mistakes." And I mean that Matip own goal was a forced mistake. It wasn't and I mean forced as in it's not him, but you're making things happen, which is something that we haven't seen Spurs do for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. So I give them credit for that. Did you have your numbers right on cards, Woodsy?
I was close. There was 11 cards total. There were 9 reds. 9 reds. That'd be a hell of a match. There were 9 yellows.
9 reds.
5v5.
9 reds, the match gets suspended. Anyway, let's move to the other team in red that had a bad weekend.
Man United.
FTBL put out a nice little list of things that warmed my heart this morning. Galatasaray hadn't won on a game on English soil in 117 years until they played United. United have never lost an opening 2 Champions League group games until now. They hadn't conceded 3+ goals in 3 consecutive games since 1978.
Yeehaw.
They had never lost to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They had never conceded 23 shots in 1 game at Old Trafford in Premier League history until now.
Jesus.
Haven't had as few as 9 points from the opening 7 games since 1989. Things are not looking good on the red side of Manchester right now.
Eric Ten Hag said in one of his first press conferences that the Liverpool Man City era was coming to an end. I'd like to shoot that back to him and say, when the hell's it ending?
Hey, dude, he had the wrong team. He had the wrong team in red. It's going to be Arsenal, and we're going to end it. It'll be fine. He just got confused. It's okay. It's bad, and so transparency and accountability, and you don't have either fucking one in the red side of Manchester right now. You have no transparency as to whatever the hell went on with the whole Mason Greenwood. We're going to bring him back. No, we're not. And you don't have any accountability. Everybody moans. Everybody points fingers.
Sancho and the woman, they had a guy accused of rape on the bench, by the way, yesterday. Anthony was right there.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was the thing, too. I was like,
forgot he was on Anthony? It. Forgot he was on it.
Whatever it was. Either way, he shouldn't be on the bench.
But. Yeah, that was weird. I was like, really? They're going to let Anthony's go, but not...
don't worry. They're still paying Greenwood.
Oh, God, yeah. There's no way it was Gaffetay.
Well, you can't get out of the contract. You can't get out of the contract unless he's found guilty, you know? Because believe me, I don't think the Glazers would still be paying him if they didn't have to.
Yeah, I can see that. They can't even afford a roof on their stadium right now. I don't know if you saw the videos of the I think it was this past week's game this weekend where it was raining through the roof on a bunch of Man United fans. and some Crystal Palace fans as well. So,
well,
kind of the dump that is the Old Trafford right now.
It's amazing how bad they've been and still are able to be in matches, if that makes any sense. The Bayern Munich match, how the hell was that 4-3? That makes absolutely no sense.
Well,
the Galatasaray match, too. It was insane. I don't understand how we're even ending up in these situations. You could honestly, if you didn't know what you were looking at, you could look at how they've been playing and just call them unlucky. But the complete lack of goal scoring. I mean, Marcus Rashford is a beautiful goal scorer. That's true. His goal involvements with his striker partner or whoever the guy in the are abysmal.
Boom.
He cannot share the ball. Yeah, Højlund's not going to be able to do anything down there because he's not going to get any help.
It's true.
I think Højlund's game better fits the Champions League than it does the Premier League right now. I think.
Well, and it's shown that with how they've played.
Yeah, I think the physicality that you're going to get with the Premier League is more so than what you're going to get in the group stages during the Champions League.
He had a brace against Galatasaray. He was the only one who really looked like he was trying to do anything.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, he has yet to really do anything in the Prem. I think that's where he's got to. If he can show me he can score goals there, then I'll agree that he's a good signing. But he does have that little bit of spark that they needed. But there's so much spark that you can have for one player if the rest of the team is the bucket of water that's putting that spark out every game.
Yeah,
that's essentially what City is, or City, excuse me. It's what United is. They are 2 or 3 flashes of brilliance every game, but the defense is awful, and they might have the worst goalkeeper in all of Europe.
It is amazing how bad Andre Onana is.
I was so happy when they signed him, so happy. I knew he was going to be overrated. I think I might even have said it in one of our pods. I think he's one of the most overrated goalkeepers in Europe right now. And the fact that they got rid of David De Gea shows that they are looking for a rebuild, but their rebuild should have started from getting younger guys that are more capable to do the things that they want. I'd rather have a goalkeeper that can stop shots than a goalkeeper that can just pass out the back. There's going to be a lot of passing out the back when you're down 3-4-5 0.
They're afraid to do what Arsenal had to do. Arsenal were bad for a couple of years. Not like horrible, but out of Europe, bad in 8th for a couple of years because we built that young core, right? And they have Yankee syndrome. You can't rebuild. You can never rebuild if you're the New York Yankees. You have to always be winning. And Manchester United is very much the New York Yankees of the Premier League. And you cannot rebuild. Yeah. You have to constantly win. So, yeah, going out and getting Onana, you can say, yeah, that's a whole rebuild thing. I understand goalkeepers can play for longer and hit primes later, but he is 27. It's not like they went out and got this young kid that they're going to try to build up. They went out and got the guy who was in the final in the CL final last year.
Yeah.
And they're afraid to rebuild. So they have these reactionary signings that cost way too much money. I mean, Antony and Jadon Sancho combined have worse stats than Nicolas Pepe does at Arsenal. It's awful. Højlund seems like the best signing that they've made, and everyone laughed at them when they made it. I think he's the only decent signing they've made in the past. Oh, Casemiro, when he's not getting reds.
Not this
Casemiro he is simultaneously amazing, and dude, what is wrong with you? Bruno Fernandes, it would be such a great player if he get his head screwed on straight. And I'm beginning to wonder if Mason Mount is just the problem. Because United have been worse since they signed him, and you could make an argument that Chelsea have gotten better. And there's a lot of reasons why, but I could spin a very nice tale about how Mason Mount is a clubhouse cancer and the problem because United look lost right now.
I would also add that maybe it's Harry Maguire.
A little espionage? Could be.
Maybe it's his presence. Because honestly, if there's one guy that I'm going to put a lot of this, the scapegoat. I'm not going to say blame, but put a lot of the...
By the way, Antony came on in the 84th minute, so they played a guy accused of rape too.
Yeah. There's that. Yeah, it's not a good... I'll tell you what, from an outsider's point of view and a rival point of view, I love every second of this. What's going on over there, and I
Yep.
hope it continues.
So speaking of litmus tests, which we've been using a lot, my litmus test for how old an Arsenal fan is when someone asks someone what their least favorite team is. If they say Man City or Liverpool, if they say Man City, they're very young and have not been paying attention for a while. They say Liverpool, they're either very young or are very old and remember like 89, right?
Mm-hmm.
They say Chelsea, I know they started watching in the last 10 years. And if they say United, I know they've been watching as long as I have, because there is not a team that I despise as much as Manchester United. They drive me crazy because of the rivalry, and it's a good kind of crazy. Like, I hate Chelsea as an institution. I hate Manchester United as that team that I hate. You know what I mean? But I love watching it. I feel bad for Will.
Okay.
I feel bad for no other Manchester United fans, but I feel bad for Will. Don't feel bad for Prison FC, though.
Mm-mm.
They've been stacked this last year. Stacked lineup at Prison FC.
They really have. Also, Højlund, you were talking about the physicality in the Premier League. When he plays in the Prem, I see a striker version of Matteo Guendouzi. He's all the fight, and he runs around, and he does everything. But, like, in the end of it, it's like we gained nothing from anything you just did. Good job.
We're going to make him wear a Kenny G wig next week. Make him act like Guendouzi.
Wow, what a callback. Speaking of the blue side of Manchester, they had a good day today. 3-1 win. It was not a good start for Holland, and I'm not sure he actually ended up on the goal sheet, but he ended up with a pretty decent rating. I saw some stuff in the background. But 2-1 loss to Wolves. Not that anyone got to see it. Way to go, Peacock.
Well, they got to hide their favorites.
Wolves is one of my favorite teams.
Nope.
Absolutely adore Wolves. They've done so much for me as an Arsenal fan.
Well, that's fair.
Hey, when Wolves beat Liverpool in like match week 37 or whatever the hell that was, when Liverpool were undefeated, man, whew.
Already won the league at that point, though.
Felt that here.
Our team was out there half drunk.
I know. But the problem is I can't sing about Europe, but I can say is yours gold. And I wouldn't be able to say that to you. So they mean a lot. Plus, Wolves is good for like a random game against a big team. I love them for that. You guys have anything you want to add to that game, or are we just happy it happened?
Happy it happened.
Same.
Honestly, Pedro Neto, again, stud.
Good boy.
I called him out 2 weeks ago. He's starting to get some suitors his way.
I know we're a Premier League podcast, but just to give people a rundown, Madrid beat Feyenoord 3-2, Lazio beat Celtic 2-1, Dortmund and Milan played to a scoreless draw. I'm starting to see a trend with AC Milan
Sad.
In the Champions League. Newcastle 4, PSG 1.
Spanked.
That whole Farmers League thing by League One after Lens beat Arsenal last year did not age well at all.
Which it was the battle of the sovereign wealth funds is what that was.
Well, yeah, that's what it was. I mean, when two countries go at each other, who knows?
Battle there's a war in the Middle East, and it's in.
There's a war in the Middle East, and it was played in Newcastle.
Yeah, it's played in Newcastle, England.
Young Boys and Zvezda 2-2. City beat Leipzig 3-1. Shakhtar beat Royal Antwerp 3-2. Barcelona with a 1-0 win over Porto. That was today. Yesterday, Bayern 2, Copenhagen 1. Did you guys see when Copenhagen was testing out their new scoreboard?
No.
They had themselves down like 4-0 in like the 22nd minute with Harry Kane having a hat trick. They did not go into that game with high hopes.
They were already planning for the worst.
Yeah, they really were. God, really liking Musiala. Great player. As we talked about, Galatasaray 3, United 2. Arsenal lose away to Lens 2-1. If you guys haven't seen the first goal, Lens worked that so beautifully. That was an amazing goal. I was not even mad.
It was good.
That was such a great goal. And it's one of those, oh my God. The anti-Raya people came out in the chat and it was a whole thing. But it was like one of those, they had to play perfect to score it, and they played absolutely perfect and scored. And it was such a deserved goal.
Lens is a hard place to play. Yeah, I don't know if you saw what Thierry. I watch a little bit of the French league every now and then.
Yeah.
Lens lost their best 2 players this summer, Fofana and his name I can't even think off the top of my head. But they've got a guy, an Elio Wahi, who personally, if you look him up and you Google him, you're gonna know why he probably shouldn't be playing the sport. But he's a darn good footballer, and Chelsea tried to bring him in this summer, but decided that money needed to go to a certain Ecuadorian midfielder, so they pulled that one back. But that's one of the more interesting groups, I think. Actually, one of my favorite groups to watch in the Champions League.
I'm still hoping that we're all going to even out after a little bit, but Lens hadn't played a home Champions League match in a long time, and neither had Arsenal. And Arsenal got real into it and slapped around PSV 4-0. And to have Lens beat us, I get it. You guys outplayed us, and they did. They played very, very well. And that's also the kind of match that if we're going to lose, I want to lose. I want to lose away in the group stage early and get that through the players' heads as opposed to losing away in the quarters. And, Sevilla and Eindhoven played it with 2-2 draw. Sevilla is going to draw their way to second in the group at this point. Braga 3, Union Berlin 2. Real Madrid 3, Napoli 2, Real Sociedad 2, Salzburg 0. Jude Bellingham is absolutely the best player in the world. Really did not like the defending on that one goal. I know, he ran through a bunch of people. That was some really bad defending. That Napoli player had his feet way too close together.
And I'll even add
Jude Bellingham still made it happen.
That pen for Napoli, I hate that rule. We saw the same thing with the Luton Wolves game a couple weeks ago, with the deflection into the hand. Obviously, the hand would be out of play because he's outstretched. I think it's a terrible rule. There's got to be something done with that because it's ruining games. I know it got Napoli back in the game, but still.
See, it got him back in the game. It made the game better. What are you even talking about?
I just want a really good officiated game. That's all I ask.
Well, you're not going to find it here.
Yeah, right.
Inter 1, Benfica 0. That is your Champions League roundup. As it comes to Premier League scores, all you have to know is I am back on top of the standings where I belong. Woodsy had a real rough week.
It was bad.
I think you got 4 points out of it this week. That's not good.
No, it sucks.
That was bad.
Picked a lot of losers. I mean, none to the fault of my own.
Look, to be fair,
I picked them, they're all correct, but
none of the fault of my own. I picked them, and it was only up to me, but it wasn't my fault.
No, it wasn't my fault. The powers that be, England refs, were probably the reason that I scored so low.
Anyway, you were saying, to be fair, Mr. Slater?
You had picked 3 scores correct, too. So that's pretty outstanding.
I know what I'm doing.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I had Arsenal 4-0 against Bournemouth, right?
No.
Really?
Correct.
I thought for sure I had that one.
No, you did the Sheffield United. You had
that's true.
Another 2-0 score, and then I think a draw you had. So
I got to go back. This is BS.
I'm telling you. Hold on.
How did I not go 4-0?
Because you're just not good.
I did 2-0. That ain't right. That ain't right at all. Wow, my first 3 games are awful.
Yeah.
I had Brighton winning the Villa game. For anyone who somehow lives under a rock, Villa won 6-1 and deserved all 6 goals.
Mm-hmm.
I had Everton beating Luton. I had United drawing Palace. Oh, yeah, Newcastle I had. West Ham, okay.
It's coming together now. It's starting to piece together.
Yep. Starting to piece together. Chelsea. Why did Chelsea have to score goals?
I know, right? I wanted a 0-0.
The memes. All right. I want to go into true false. We were up into 52 minutes of this.
Okay.
So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Cool, because I don't actually have true false.
True false. Liverpool gets screwed over by VAR this coming week against Brighton.
False. They're going to get everything their way because they know better.
Yeah, I think Brighton's going to get screwed over by VAR. I think that's what's going to happen. Hey, two wrongs make a right. Two wrongs make a right. Absolutely.
Two negatives.
Yeah.
No positive. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fair enough.
I'll go. Oh, whatever, me.
I said whomever. I did mumble it though, so I understand.
Everton finish. No, oh man, that's so
you
tough.
You can't even back.
God, I forgot how bad Sheffield United are. I was gonna say Everton finished bottom, but Sheffield United's too bad.
I don't know. I thought that same thing. That's fair.
All right, I bet Brentford find themselves in a relegation battle. That's my true false.
True.
False. I don't think they are that bad. I'm interested to see what happens with Tony, but I don't think they. I could easily see them getting a point at least against. I think they play United this weekend, so I'm not counting them out quite yet. Thomas Frank's still a top 5, top 10 coach.
And with how bad some of these teams are, like 35 points might be enough to stay up.
They just need to start playing
relegation battle. That doesn't mean that they're going to be 18, 19, 20. I consider relegation battle like 15 and below.
Well, it depends. Relegation battle is all about points.
This is true. So
if you got a 10-point gap between 18th and 17th,
no, it's fine. I still think they're going to be in a relegation battle. It definitely depends on if Tony decides to stay. And personally, if I'm Tony, I'll be like, I think I might leave because I really didn't get a lot of support for what had happened for my gambling issue. Considering they went and signed a gambling sponsorship for their shirt kits this year. Doesn't really hold any water for them saying, yeah, we support you, but they also give us a lot of money. So we're going to go with the money.
Yeah, we support you as far as you're worth. It makes sense to me.
So I'd be like, go on.
Anyway, what's your turn?
I did have something and it went away. We were talking about Everton and then, but not really. Shoot. It did disappear. Hold on.
I've got a real one. I got one.
You got a real one?
Yeah, my last one was not quite real. This one. Chelsea will be top 5 at Christmas.
Chelsea will be top 5 at what?
Christmas.
Oh, false. False.
I think it's false too. The schedule coming up is so bad.
False, yeah.
They had the weakest team they probably play in the last in the next like 4, 5, 6 weeks is maybe Brentford.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's yeah.
They got Spurs, they got United, they got City, they got Arsenal.
United.
They got who did I see there? They got Brighton. Did I say that? It's not a good look for them. I believe they got Palace in there as well. They're kind of screwed, Chelsea.
Yep.
But I'll tell you, if they play the way they did in that first half yesterday, 2 days ago, they might have something to say about maybe not their chances at top 4, top 5, but someone else's.
Maybe I don't see. I don't. Yeah, they looked all right against Fulham, but you got to do it more than once. All right, Aaron, that's ample time. Give me something.
Fine. True, false. Man City will be sitting 3rd by Christmas.
True.
False.
Love it. Love the true. You know what? False. They'll be lower. I want to hear Woodsy.
That's false.
Big Blue Machine keeps rolling.
They're going to be in their own stratosphere by then. They're going to be up by. I'm going to say they're going to be up closer to 10 points than they are going to be in second place.
Oof.
I think they walk away with it. I really do.
I don't want to believe that. I didn't fully believe in my true false anyway. I just wanted to see the reactions out of everybody to see if it would be true or not, or what would happen. But it's not out of the realm of possibilities with De Bruyne injured still, and maybe just getting him back at that point, and Rodri just being an absolute clown of a player when it comes to him being, intimidated. Not even intimidated is the right word. Instigated. That's the right word.
I got another one. Eric Ten Hag is fired before the new year. True or false?
I feel like we've done something like that, and I've said false.
I asked one. No, well, so what I asked a couple episodes ago, I'm pretty sure that the true false was that both Pochettino and Eric Ten Hag don't see Christmas.
That's what it was. Yeah.
You said false. I think it's true. I don't understand how Eric Ten Hag still has a job now.
Or maybe, did I say that Poch would stay? But, that's what it was. I said Poch was going to stay. Ten Hag would go. Not go, get canned. That's what it was. Because you were like, how the hell would you imagine that Poch is going to stay seeing how bad they're playing?
Switch.
And then they're running.
Watch them switch. Yeah, and then their run of games. Their run of games is going to be real tough.
Yeah. Maybe this is where they'll get galvanized.
Maybe. I'm not sold 100% that City's going to run away with it, but I'm also not going to be surprised. Going back to that one.
Sure.
I think that they're.
Oh, I got it back.
Holland has played a little bit worse. It's not long enough. A little bit worse. Kevin De Bruyne has been out for a while. Rodri can be crazy. I think other teams got better. I think the problem right now is I think for them to really be caught, I'm not sure that Arsenal is good enough to do it on their own. If Arsenal is good enough to do it on their own right now, I'm not surprised because I do think we're a better team than we were last year, but it's still City, right? I don't think Liverpool's quite there yet. And I think Tottenham stealing points early on is really hurting that kind of title charge that Liverpool could have, that Arsenal could have. I mean, if Tottenham were the team they were last year, Arsenal's sitting top of the table right now. If they were the team they were last year against Liverpool, and they still played Arsenal because you know how rivalries are, then Liverpool's top of the table right now. There was a lot. I'm not ready to throw in the towel yet. We're 7 games in. That's 18 points. 18 points for City, 17 for Arsenal, 16 for Liverpool. Arsenal has looked very good out of the gates. Lon's not being, even then, Lon's just better. They just showed up to play. I think Liverpool played very good, and quite honestly, if it wasn't for all the horrible decisions that we spent 40 minutes talking about at the start of this, Liverpool would be top of the table right now. I also think that Arsenal has a very good chance to steal some points off City this weekend. Saka's in doubt now after he picked up that injury, but we should be getting Martinelli back. We'll have a healthy Trossard. We'll have a healthy Saliba. They will have no KDB. They will still not have Rodri. Holland still seems to be in a bit of a funk. If Arsenal get 3 points off of them, that's 3 more points than they got last year.
Yeah.
And I could see it. That being said, if we end up in the exact same position again last year or in April and May that we did the last several years, I'm also not surprised.
One more quick true false. Spurs are going to be top of the table going into the international break. Right now they sit in third place.
Ooh, that is a good one. Second place. Off goal differential, and only because they've scored more. They're tied on goal differential with Arsenal, but they've scored 17.
Well,
God. This could easily be true. And the reason why he's saying this, Aaron, is because Spurs have Luton and Arsenal and City have each other.
Yeah,
So if they draw, I would love a world where Spurs lose to Luton, but I also can't see it.
Yeah. I think it's true. It could be.
I'm gonna say false because I think Arsenal wins that match. Oh, well, no, that would be true though, because unless Arsenal would have, I don't think Arsenal wins a match against City by more goals than Tottenham win a match against Luton.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with true, even though that hurts me. Don't put this evil on me, Woodsy. That's awful. True or false? Woodsy's a dick.
Oh man.
All right, I got one more for you. The top 5 remain the same for the rest of the season.
Oh, don't tease me like that.
So we got
City, Tottenham, not in this order, but these 5 teams. City, Tottenham, Arsenal, Liverpool, Villa. In some order will be the top 5 teams at the end of the season.
false.
Oh yeah, because Liverpool's going to get knocked out. That's right.
No. Tottenham's going to get replaced by Newcastle. That's all that's going to happen.
Yeah, well, that's actually what I was going to say. Actually, Spurs and Villa, I think, are going to be out, and I think Brighton, oddly enough, even though they got whooped by Villa, I think it's going to be Brighton and Newcastle that step in there.
Yeah, I don't know about Brighton. I was very hot on them, but they looked very, very bad.
At the right
It's
time.
Villa Park. I'm going to tell you it's a fort.
It's one of the hard.
It's a fortress.
Villa's one of the best teams at home. They really are. So they're.
And there's playing tough teams at home, and then there's the complete just disintegration that happened to Brighton. I don't know. But De Zerbi's a very good manager, and I'm still hot on Brighton. All right, do we want to do real quick our
sure
predictions?
10 minutes.
Sure, yeah.
Should be quick. All right, Spurs 3, Luton 0, Chelsea 2, Burnley 0, Bournemouth 2, Everton 1. Everton I don't feel it anymore. I lost that hope. Fulham 2, Sheffield 0. Got a 1-1 draw, United Brentford. Palace 2, Forest 0. Liverpool 2, Brighton 0. Newcastle 2, West Ham 0. Got a lot of 2-0s. Feeling it. Feeling some one-sided matches. Villa 3, Wolves 0. You'll be happy about that, Aaron.
I will be.
And then I got 2-1 Arsenal.
Cool.
What you got, Aaron?
Oh, okay. I guess I'm going to go. Luton Town 0, Spurs 3, Burnley 0, Chelsea 2, Everton
Stealing
2.
mine again. You're doing this again.
I did mine first. I need to timestamp mine so that I can.
You don't post them, so no, you didn't. It's not documented. It didn't happen.
Wait, who did post them first?
Yeah, but I don't copy you, Woodsy.
Yeah, right.
Aaron copies me.
I have a lot of draws in this setup here, which probably could be bad. Everton 2, Bournemouth 1, Fulham 1, Sheffield United 1, Manchester United 2, Brentford 1, Crystal Palace 0, Nottingham Forest 1, Brighton 2, Liverpool 2, West Ham United 2, Newcastle 2, Wolves 1, Villa 2, Arsenal 2, Man City 2.
It's a lot of
God,
draws.
you have a crap ton of goals there, buddy. My goodness. A lot of 2-2s. There was what, 3 of them? 4?
3 of them.
3 of them?
Yeah.
Ooh. I got Spurs 4-0 over Luton. I got Chelsea 1-0 winners over Burnley. I've got Everton, Bournemouth 1-1. Fulham, Sheffield, same score, 1-1. United, Brentford, I got 2-1 United. I also got 2-1 Forest over Crystal Palace. I've got 3-1 Liverpool over Brighton, 3-1 Newcastle over West Ham, and 2-0 Villa over Wolves. And I'm sorry, Rhett, I got Man City 2-1 over Arsenal. Yeah,
it's okay, Woodsy. You think that Liverpool is the only team who can beat them. I get it.
No Saka.
I'm.
If they had Saka,
no Saka. We get. First of all, Saka's not confirmed out, but even then, Gabby's coming back.
They're gonna wheel him out there in a wheelchair for his.
Got some fresh legs on that Saka boy.
Benny White's gonna be pushing him behind.
This is what we do. We overlap. All right, guys. To keep up with the table. Woodsy at 37 points, Aaron at 38, and myself at 40. I'm taking that W. I was on top at some point.
No, you were not.
I am right now.
At some point is now, not past.
Yeah. No, I mean, over the point of the season, at some point after match week 1, I was on top.
Mm.
It's a beautiful thing.
Okay.
All right, we will have a episode for you next week, and then we head into the international break, which is sad.
But also,
'Cause-
it's nice to have a day off.
yeah, and I mean October baseball, so
It's also nice to not have referees ruin your weekend for at least one.
That is true. Why do you got to bring it back to a sad point? We were doing
'cause
good.
they lost to Spurs. That's a very sad thing.
Yeah, but like,
Did we lose the Spurs though? I mean, we scored more goals.
that's true.
Not on the tally.
In fact,
Not on the tally.
that would make my score of 3-1 correct.
It would have, but you didn't account for the referees, and I did. And with that, we will end the show. He's going crazy, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm top, going top of the table.
We would be tied.
4-pointer.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for listening. Links for anything that you could be interested in, whether it's the YouTube channel, our podcast links, our social media links, everything's in the description below. Thank you very much for listening.